Live. It says it's all there. So you got your little ticker box
Okay,
there?
I'm ready. We're ready.
What do you think? Control that one there?
Yeah.
It's an
You had the
operation.
score on the.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
keeps score on his phone. Buddy, we're fucking legit here. We're doing
You guys keep shots and all that too?
You can.
Oh, okay.
It makes the ticker too big.
See, my job.
I know.
Okay, we just went
I
live
was looking
now.
at we didn't use it this year, but you can do shots at goal. But I'm like, it makes the ticker like massive, and I'm like, I don't know.
Is it at 613?
Jeremy, see if there's a
Yeah.
button down there for heat.
There's a sign that said no.
613.
No heat.
It said it on that door. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got one. We got one. One's loaded in there.
One's loaded. Go to a subscription.
Well, the places
Yeah, like on YouTube. Subscriptions. Okay, I think here, let me find it on my phone. I could maybe send you the link.
Don't send. Yeah. Picks up everything if you start swearing at the kid on the TV. Oh, you're on there.
Yeah, well, we're trying to figure it out here.
Someone's on there.
Anywhere.
Oh, I did.
Hey, Julie. Julie, let me see your phone.
I'm trying to figure it out here, dude.
There's two people on there.
Well, I don't know who waited.
Maybe you do.
Oh, he's like Outback guy. Yeah, we're trying to figure it out.
Rain at 8:30. Just came and you go.
Well, that's what I was doing. That's 613. I don't know, but not even on Wi-Fi. Yeah, let me call you back, Dave. I'll put it in front.
Maybe there's a link. Maybe I can get a link. Maybe I can do that. Right here. See this right here. Come on.
Here, share it to, share it.
Probably save that and send it to everyone.
Here, share it to my messages, or my messages. And then I can copy the link and put it on.
All right. Here we go, Britt. close. I'm gonna see if we get in the cab. All right. Does it work? All right. Hello, everyone. So this is the 613 Heat Spring Hockey. First game of the Castleman Tournament versus the 2016 Lightning. It's a smaller crew over there, the age younger. They're running 10 skaters. We're running about 25, Britt.
There's a lot of heat in the house.
You gotta get in here.
Spill my coffee.
Don't spill the coffee. Here we go. Make sure you got the scoring app. That's your. Don't forget this. This is a new feature here this year. New feature. Here we go. There you go. You're in. Press the start button. We got a 2 dads, 1 tripod production here. Starting lineup looks to be, I don't know the numbers, but we got more on defense with Albers. You have McCrimmon, Davidson, and Jacob. Gautier's over there. First game of the tournament for both teams. Puck drop. Lightning with the win. Lightning drops it back. McCrimmon picks that up. Chases it back. Lightning tries to get out of their zone. Up to center. Ref takes a spill. Lightning comes in. Centering pass. Big first save. Seems to wince a little bit. Good recovery. This 2016 Lightning team, Brett, they're not to scoff at. They're pretty quick little skaters. Get a full lineup change here, just for the defense. Face-off win for the Heat. The Heat break out of their zone. Cross ice pass for X. Heat into the corner, cycling. Lightning picks that up, tries to break out. Lightning over center. Varga clears that out. Lightning picks it back up, tries to break in. Yeah, the first penalty of the play here. Looks like Luca's going in the box for 2 for tripping. Wait, you gotta put that up there. You gotta put the penalty back there.
Okay.
Have you been stopping the clock?
No, we're good, brother. We're good.
Oh my god.
We got a 10-minute penalty?
87. A little tripperoo. Here's penalty right here. 87, 2-minute tripping. Big shot from the point. Lightning try and break that out. Another shot on net. More over into the corner in pursuit. Lightning suckling down low. Kelly picks it up behind the net. Kelly dumps it the length of the ice. We have Dax in hot pursuit. Lightning trying to break out. Cross ice pass off the mark. Could have been offside, but staring pass for Lightning. Here we go. Dax tries to get out. Bennett's able to dump that. Lightning picks it up in their own zone. Heat go for a full line change. Lightning start to break in. Another shot on net. Lightning trying to work down low. Davidson picks it up behind the net. Tries to dump it out. Davidson picks that up. Again, breaks through center. Oop. Davidson just loses the handle. Lightning dump it back in. Albers picks it back up behind the net. Dumps around to Falkenberg. Falkenberg was behind space. He'll dump that down. 40 seconds left on the penalty. Lightning try and pick that back up. Close the gap down low. Norris picks it up off the boards. He has a little bit of time. He dumps that back down. You're going to see a full Heat change. The exception of Gauthier. He's in pursuit in the Lightning zone. Lightning dump that in. Kelly picks it up behind the Heat net. He pops it up and out of the zone. McCrimmon in pursuit. He's able to steal that away. Puts a little pressure on.
Nice kill by the Heat.
Yeah, that's a good kill. Now these penalties are 10, 10, 15, so every second's going to count. Heat's working down low, trying to get set up. Haven't really been able to do that yet. Kelly dumps that back in. Puts some pressure. A little backhand shot by Goche, and the Lightning goaltender ends up holding that for the whistle. Fast-paced game here, Britt.
It's a fast-paced game. I couldn't figure out the penalty thing, but that's okay.
That's all right.
It's over.
We'll get it. It's over. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about that for next time. Lightning working the puck behind their own net. Heat's able to put some pressure on. Moore keeps it in, dumps it. Oh, a little cross-ice pass for X. He tries to get to it. Lightning can't get it out. Duke Albers picks it up. He's got some time. He's passing it around. Lightning manages to block that out. Zach Moore back to pick it back up in the heat zone. Moore up to Cummings. Cummings with some speed. He dumps that in. Lays the body out on one of the young Lightning players, and the Lightning's going to try and break out. No harm, no foul. Zach Moore chasing his player down. A little 5-4 goal on the rush from the Lightning.
1-0 Lightning.
Yeah, 1-0 Lightning. Yeah. On the rush, a little bit of speed. 5-4 on the ice. 6 minutes left in the first period. We're going to see if we can get that one back to the Lightning. Heat win the face-off back to their D. D-to-D pass up to center. Varga. He picks that up. Rims that around for Norris. Bennett picks it up. He does a little turn and burn. Picks it up into the Lightning zone, battling for it down low. Lightning try and break out. They get into the neutral zone. Dax is able to put the pressure on. Cable poke check. Puck squeaks out to center ice. Lightning dumps that in. Picked up by Caleb over to Varga. Varga up ice to Morris and over to Dax. Dax is able to break in. Dax a little dance. Just isn't quite able to get that through, and Lightning picks that back up. Varga in pursuit. Able to pop the puck back into the corner where Cable picked that up, bounced through the boards. A little tip out into the Lightning zone while the Heat goes for a forward line change. Lightning claps on the player. McCrimmon picks it back up in the neutral zone. McCrimmon, nice pass, cross ice, nice shot. Goche down low, working the Lightning D. Keep putting some pressure on now, and there's a little. So there we go. Well, that was a hard-working play by I think Max Davidson got that one. Is that who that was? Yeah, Max Davidson. He may have just caused a turnover deep into the Lightning zone behind the net. Do a little wraparound goal.
Just a sec, we're gonna get some buzzer here.
Yeah, it's already going. There you go. We have sound effects. We have all sorts of things going on here. We have a 1-1 game with 4:30 left in the first period. You guys can see that on the ticker now, so I don't even have to say that. The Lightning dumps it down into the Heat zone, picked up by Zach Moore behind the net. Zach does a little turn shuffle. Pops that up to X. Can't quite get a hold of it. Able to pick that up. Good face-off win for Luka. Caleb picks that back up. Luka founds on the pass. Albert's behind the net. Centering pass. Woof. Whoa. Luka's battling down low. Boltender chases his man back up. Centering pass for the Lightning. Lightning trying to get some defensive structure going, but it's a little bit rushed. Varga cuts the shot off down low, pops up to the center. There's a puck loose between those paths, but they will smother it for the whistle. Brett, it's not the smoothest period here for the Heat that you'd like to see. I think they're still finding their groove after...
8:30 game time.
Yeah, it's 8:30 Friday morning here.
We're a second period team.
We're a second period team, maybe even a third. I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully.
Let's see, puck down low. Falkenberg tries to take that around, cause some offense, wraparound stop. Saved by the Lightning goalie. We have an offensive face-off by Dax Bennett. Dax wins that. Alberts. Lightning managed to pick up the puck, cross into the neutral zone, get a shot on that. That's going to be smothered by the Heat goalie. We're going to get a defensive whistle here. Davidson for the draw. Puck draw. Davidson wins that. Kelly shoots that back around to McKinnon. Lightning pops it back down. Kelly's able to pick that behind the net. Tries to clear it up. Intercepted by the Lightning D. Will dump it back into the corner. Gauthier tries to get it out. Manages to do so. McKinnon picks that up. Davidson picks that loose puck up, breaks into the Lightning zone. He's trying to weasel through it, not quite able to do so. Loose puck picked up by Davidson. Over to Gauthier. Gauthier dumps it in. Lightning are able to pick that back up in their own zone. Varga cuts that pass off and sends it back into the Lightning zone. Gauthier puts pressure on. Kelly keeps it in. Gauthier with some time and space. Back up to Kelly, cross ice pass. Fortunately, Varga went for a change. There was no one home. Lightning cross through into the Heat zone. Trying to put some pressure on. Kelly takes his man. Loose puck pops over to the boards. X is on the scene trying to break that up, and the Lightning walk away with it. Puck in front. That's going to be another defensive face-off.
Well, I think they got
Giselle's in Germany saying, let's go Heat. Britt, this is an international broadcast. Viewers from across the world. Ooh, big save. Nice shot from the point. The Heat's able to collect that. Lightning still have control in the Heat zone. You have Cummings. He has some time and space along the boards. Cummings moves it up. Nice pass over to X. Couldn't quite handle it, and Lightning walked back into the Heat zone. Alberts with some time and space. He has still some time and space. He's going for a bit of a skate. Lightning's able to pick that back up and move into the Heat zone. Centering pass for the Lightning. Broken up by a couple of the Heat players. X ends up with it, goes into the neutral zone, tries to pass over to Cummings. Cummings. It was a Fury of Heat. It was a Fury of Heat. We're going to have an offside call. Some might say they're trying to bring the Heat.
Oh, the Heat is on.
The dad jokes can go on forever.
Oh, yeah.
We have Dax Bennett for the face-off. He wins that back up to Falkenberg. The Heat still have 2 or 3 players trying to get into the box, so we're going to try that one again. Dax not quite as lucky on that one. The Lightning win that back into their zone. What happened? The Lightning breaking out of their zone, centering pass into the neutral. Still have control over it. Lightning dump that in. Falkenberg in pursuit into the corner. Pops that up. Over to number 13, Dax Bennett. Dax with a shot, blocked by the Lightning D. Ooh, good battle for the other Dax behind. Bennett breaks that up, and the Lightning are able to pop that up to center, which is picked up by Varga. Varga dumps it back down to Norris. Norris up to Dax Bennett. Some jeers for a little contact from the 2016 Lightning bench. Falkenberg over to Dax, over to the other Dax. Dax Bennett with some time and space, tries to pop it over to Norris. Lightning break that up. Dax Bennett puts the pressure on down low, and the Lightning are probably going to run out of time here as the clock expires. Now be the end of the first period. So, Britt, what do we think about the first period here? This is their first period of actual gameplay. They had a scrimmage the other day. It's, the first period for them worked out good that time. What are the Heat going to have to do to really grab hold of this in the second and the third?
They're going to have to move their legs.
Yeah.
Get a little bit more crisp passing and get their feet moving. I think this is the period we're going to turn it around.
And just lay some massive body checks.
Big Varga back there. He's just got to start ripping them.
He has a shot of a full-grown man, so I wouldn't mind seeing that a couple times. You know what? So is Duke Alberts. We saw him in practice. He can rip him pretty good too. So wouldn't mind seeing a couple of those.
Intimidation factor has to set in.
It needs to set in. These young fellas, we need a little bit. We need a little bit more. We need a little bit more. We can't be
old gusters.
Yeah. Can't be trounced. Can't be trounced. Here we go.
Heat and lightning.
A little heat and lightning. Yeah. Second period. 10-minute period. Face-off win by the Lightning back to long defensive zone. Kelly's able to disrupt that play. Davidson over to Moore. Moore has some time and space. He's going in for a little bit of a stroll. Moore walks into the corner, muscles his way in. Centering pass, nice try. Kelly picks that up from a pinch. Nice shot. Just blocked wide. Gauthier and Davidson. Gauthier walks up from behind the net. Centering pass over to McCrimmon. McCrimmon has it. Davidson just shoots wide. Zach Moore down on the pinch into the corner. Sense of urgency picked up by Heat. Moore's still down low. Centering pass just gets broken up by the Lightning. The Lightning try and break up. McCrimmon blocks that. Kelly's able to dump that back into the Gauthier. Gauthier rims around, where it's met by both Davidson and McCrimmon. Lightning try and break out, but puck squirts loose into the neutral zone for Kelly. Kelly's going to go for a skate. Lightning break that up. Zach Moore over to Gauthier. He has some time and space. Dumps that wide. Going to get some line changes for the Heat here. Puck just breaks loose. And see Zach Moore chase that one down. Good defensive effort. Pops it away from pressure into the corner. Centering pass goes wide. Moore's there as well. Moore's going to go for another skate. Pops that back up to X. X can't quite get there in time. The Lightning are able to regroup and try and break back in. Centering pass for the Lightning as they break into the Heat zone. Splits the D, but Zach Moore is there again to break that up. You have X going for a little bit of a skate. Loses the handle on that. Drop pass to Luka. Luka dances around the defenders. Comes in. Drops out over to Cummings. Cummings shot just goes wide and the Lightning are going to break out. Lightning break into the zone. Woo! A little bit of a defensive effort. A little push and shoving from Luke. I don't mind that though. Got to protect your goalie. And the pairing of Alberts and Falkenberg are able to shut down the Lightning rush. We're going to get Dax Bennett for the face-off. You got Dax, and a Norris. Dax pops that up to the other Dax. Caleb pops that up to Norris. Norris has some time and space. Spins, drops that back to Dax Hubert. Norris ends up with the puck in the corner. Tries to center that over to Hubert. Puck goes behind the net for Dax Bennett for pursuit. Alberts picks that up on the blue line, dumps it back in. Lightning picks that up behind their own zone. Dax Hubert picks that back up. Loses the hand a little bit. Puck pops up into its own. Falkenberg with the pinch keeps it in. Norris pops up to him. He has some common space. Nice shot. Just goes wide. Dax Bennett putting the pressure on. Puck kept in by Alberts. Albert, nice pass over to Dax. Dax runs out some time and space. Norris to Falkenberg. Falkenberg back down low. Pressure put on by Dax behind the net. Dax Bennett picks that up. Albert's able to keep that in as well. We have some heat pressure going on, but the Lightning are able to break out into the neutral zone. Falkenberg picks that up, spins off his man, dumps that back up to McCrimmon. Lightning intercept that and dump it back into the heat zone. Falkenberg picks that up in the corner. Falkenberg up to Dax. Dax dumps that in while the Heat go for a change. The Lightning are going to pick that back up into their own zone and try and break out into the neutral zone. Ooh, Lightning do a little chip and pursue into the corner. Lightning pick that back up. There's a little bit of a, it's not a penalty. There's nothing wrong with that. No, this is what it is.
It's a pylon.
That's a pylon. Davidson over to Gauthier. Gauthier with some time and space, goes into the corner. Still has control. Centering pass, not quite there. You have Davidson back up. Woo. Nice shot by Varga. We're going to get the Lightning to hold on to that. Woo. The only thing that's confusing, Britt, is that we have only 2 Daxes on the team and they're on the same line.
Well, you can't mess it up.
Okay, I guess it's as easy as say that. Kelly keeps that face-off draw into the zone. Lightning pick it back up. Try and break it up. We managed to poke that up. They're going to call off the icing on that one. Say it was a touch. Varga picks that up behind the net. Still has control. Spins off his man. Varga up to McCrimmon. McCrimmon dances around his guy. Varga picks that back up. Going through the neutral zone. He has some time and space. Davidson picks that back up. Over McCrimmon. McCrimmon has it. Shot on net. Rubbed by the Lightning goalie for the whistle. We're going to have Luke take this face off. He's on a line with Cummings and X. Lightning pick that up behind the net. Lightning try and break out. Intercepted by Luka. Luka dumps it back in. Lightning try break out again. Again intercepted by Luka. Luka's going to break in with some time and space. Nice shot. Oh, glove down by the Lightning goalie. Lose it after the whistle. A little bit of a quick whistle. Britt, you might have to have a conversation with the official. Yeah, that's a bit more special. Lightning win that one. Nope. You got it? You got it? That, again, we're new to the clock. We're new to the ticker here.
You better really pay attention.
You really got to be on the clock. Albert's able to pick that up outside into the neutral zone. Pass over to Cummings. Cummings has some time. Dumps it into the corner. Luke is back, put on some pressure. Lightning dumping up the boards, but Albert's there to keep it in. Loose puck behind the net. Lightning pick that up and try their breakout. Pops up. Zach's able to keep it in, but the loose puck pops over to the Lightning player and they break into the Heat zone. Good back check by Cummings. Causes a turnover. Lightning still have control of that puck. Shot just goes wide over the head of the Heat goalie. Loose puck inside the Heat zone. Picked up by Zach Moore. He's going for another skate. He's ate his Wheaties here today. We have Luka break up into the Lightning zone, but turnover causes a 5-on-2 breakout. The Lightning overskate that into the corner where they're met by Alberts.
Nice block.
Nice block by Cummings. Puck still into the corner. Centering pass. Broken up by Dax. Dax tries to poke that up. Moore picks it up, dumps it through the neutral zone into the Lightning zone, and we have Dax on hot pursuit. Dax causes a turnover. Centering pass. Goalie with the big post. Luke puck. Norris still has it. Alberts over to Zach Moore. Zach Moore with the shot. Glove down by the Lightning goalie. A flurry of activity here. A flurry of heat. We're going to have Dax Bennett on the draw. Flaps down into it. Lightning are able to collapse on that puck and walk out of their zone with it into the neutral zone with control. Lightning dump that into the Heat zone. Picked up by Varg. Battles for it in the corner. Loose puck. Varga's still battling. Taking on 2 of the 2016s. Walks away with that. Pops that up to Dax. Can't quite hold on to that. The Lightning take the shot back into the zone. Norris in pursuit. Loose puck still kept in. Falkenberg into the corner. Picks that up. Falkenberg turns back. Looks to break out. Backhand pass up to Norris. Norris up to Dax. A little bit of miscommunication there. That's just new players getting to know each other. Varga over to Falkenberg. Over to Dax. Falkenberg with the shot. Just goes wide. Loose puck out front. Oh my goodness, it was there. Norris couldn't quite get to it. Lightning break in. Whoa, shot goes just wide. Lightning into the heat zone. Shot by the Lightning. The Heat are able to clear that up, but the Lightning pick that up into the neutral zone and try and dance back in. There we go. We have Dax able to pick that up. He'll dump that in. The Heat are going for a change. Davidson's able to come off the bench, pick that up into the corner. Davidson had some time, passes over to Luka. Luka was shot, intercepted by the Lightning. Lightning go for a breakout. Tip picked up by Moore into the Heat zone. Moore calmly passes that over to Dax. Dax, McCroon almost made it there, but not quite. They're going to call icing. It's going to bring it all the way back into the Heat zone for a face-off at 1:42 in the second period. Davidson, draw a win by the Lightning. Point shot goes wide. Lightning in control into the corner. Pressure by Zach Moore, Davidson, Luka, McCrimmon. Oh! Big shot, big toe save off the tip. It was a beautiful save. That was a tricky one. A little redirect. The Heat are going to go for a forward line change. And out comes Luka Cummings and X. Lightning walk away with that. Shot deflected wide into the corner. X picks that up. Gets it out of the Heat zone. Lightning go to regroup. Lightning break into the Heat zone, but broken up by Zach Moore. Lightning do manage to pick that up into the corner though. Then broken up, out to the point. Shot goes wide. We have Kelly pick that up. Kelly's going to go for a skate. Loose puck hit up comes, centering pass, intercepted by Lightning into the corner. Cummings battling for it. He walks away with control of the puck, but he's still battling into the corner. Dropped off to X. X has it. Looks for the centering pass, just goes wide, broken up by Cummings. X walks away with it behind the net. And someone half the size of Declan Cummings tried to clear him out, and that's not going to work. That's one solid kid, so he bounced right off of him like a tennis ball hitting a blimp.
Boom.
Bennett, face-off win for Alberts. Alberts tries to get a shot off. Broken up. We have Dax behind the net. Dax wheeling. There's a trip. Centering pass. We're gonna see the Heat go on the first power play. Let's see what this power play unit has to show. We have Alberts Falkenberg on defense, followed by two Daxes, and a Gauthier? No, and a Norris. Two Daxes and a Norris. They all look the same with the black helmets. So confusing. Face-off win goes into the corner. Lightning picked that up, but Alberts is there to keep it in. Albert shot blocked by the Lightning, and they have control. They're going to try and get it out, and they're able to do so, but Albert stops that at the red line. Pops it back in, but the Lightning are able to recoup that and dump it back into the Heat zone. Falkenberg picks it up behind his own net, spins back, and goes for a breakout. Wow, puck almost given away to the Lightning. Picked up by Dax, and that's going to be the end of the second period.
It's a 50?
Yeah, the third period's apparently a 15. Yeah. Maybe 50. You see how that works?
I'll just wait.
I don't know what number it is. Don't know what number it is. And then at this point, yeah. Oh, and then add 1 second. That's not what I want. Alright, whatever.
We'll see if it works.
It's right there. You can see it. Look at that, Brett. Oh, wow. See how legitimate that is? It's quite the... It's not the DJ baseball. It's not the DJ baseball. We've gotten as close as we can get. This is as professional as we ever have to get. Contract for CBC
out
should be
here this
coming.
morning
We're figuring it out.
and
This is looking great here. So power play unit of Davidson, McCrimmon, and Gauthier with Varga and Kelly back on D. Face-off win. Varga picks that up. Varga pops it back over to Gauthier. Gauthier tips it into the Lightning zone. Picked up by the Lightning. Varga with the pinch, keeps it in. Varga's still working hard behind. He's able to get that loose puck. Centering pass just goes wide to Davidson, but loose puck flies into the boards, picked up by Gauthier. Lightning try to break out. They're able to get that all the way down. Varga picks it up in his own zone, spins back. He has some time and space, looking for the right play. Varga over to McCrimmon. He breaks in. He's going to take the shot. Block just goes wide. Davidson on pursuit. Lightning pick that up. Try and get it out, and just squeaks loose. Varga almost is able to hold that in. Varga's checked by a eager Lightning team. Lightning are putting pressure on into the defensive zone for the Heat. Heat are able to get that up, but then go for a line change. Gauthier over to McCrimmon. McCrimmon, oh, a beautiful move to try and center that, but just went wide. Lightning break that out. Alberts picks that up behind his net. He has some time and space. He's looking to make that play. Breaks through center ice. He's still going into the Lightning zone. Duke still has it. Lightning will triple off of it, but not before it gets over to Luka. Luka goes for the shot, which is blocked, and they're going to get a dump all the way down. We're going to get an icing call because the power play has expired. Offensive zone face-off taken by Luka with X on one side. Not quite sure the lineups still with the new team. You have Cummings on the other side. Cummings dumps that around over to X. X picks that up. Can't quite hold on to it. Lightning gain control. Oop. Lightning have a little bit of a break here as they break in. Another low shot goes wide. Duke tries to clear that. Picked up by the Lightning. Beautiful blocker save. Shoots it wide. Lightning still in control in the Heat zone. The Lightning player chokes at the blue line and the puck squirts into the Lightning zone. Loose puck pursued by X causes some pressure. Lightning turn that over. Luka with some time and space over to Varga. Varga breaks in into the corner into the Lightning zone. He's triple teamed. Cummings for support. Lightning poke that out. Falkenberg picks that back up in the defensive zone. Falkenberg over to Luka. Luka has some time and space. Luka over to Cummings. He has control of that one. Just squeaks past him, unfortunately, and the Lightning are going to pick that back up. Lightning lose it in the defensive zone, and Cummings tries to get her out. It's deflected, and we're going to pick that up. You have Dax picks that up into the offensive zone, causes a turnover, but the Lightning are able to recover and break into the neutral zone and pass it over center. Lightning with a nice centering pass. Ooh, another beauty low save. And the Lightning shot, bit of a hammer, goes off the shin pad, deflected into the back of the net for the Lightning, and we're at a 2-1 game. Kelly picks that up for the Heat. Lightning have it in their own zone. Loose puck into the corner. You have Moore, breaks that up, keeps it in. He battles along the boards. Puck sweeps into the corner for Dax. Lightning still have that. Kelly with the big pinch, keeps it in. Puck pops up and over the boards for a whistle into the offensive zone. We're going to get a Heat line change, and out comes the Davidson Luka Gauthier line. No, Davidson McCrimmon Gauthier line. supported by Kelly Moore on the back end. Lightning win that face-off. Lightning try and dump that out. Intercepted by the Heat. The Heat still have control. Ooh. Shot on that just squeaks out, but able to be kept covered by the Lightning goalie. It is cold in here, Brent.
There's heaters everywhere.
Yeah, they're not on.
Just gotta figure out how to turn them on.
The city of Russell doesn't believe in heating. It's part of the economical savings plan.
Oh, God.
The Lightning break in. Sharing pass broken up. Whoa! Wow! Absolutely miraculous save. A little bit of a defensive zone breakdown causes the Heat goaltender to come out big. That could be the TSN turning point. Face off won by the Lightning. Lightning back to their D. Bounce around. Centering puck. Up to McCrimmon. McCrimmon gets that pass over to Gauthier. He breaks in. Beautiful pass over. Gauthier spins into the zone. Ooh. Lightning able to break that up and try and break it in. Lightning lose that. McCrimmon picks that up. He has some time and space. Off the boards and out where the Lightning pick that up at center. They'll just take that and dump it back in. Alberts is there to pick it up. Alberts over to Davidson. Davidson over to Gauthier. Gauthier breaks in. Loses the handle on that. Loose puck picked up by Luca. Luca over to McCrimmon. He has some time and space. Takes a shot. Ooh! Misses by inches. In the top shelf. That was a good shot. Loose puck picked up. Kept into the zone by Alberts, where the Lightning eventually get control and break into the Heat zone. Ooh. Full turnover, a low shot. Wow. The Lightning crowd, Brett, is adamant that this isn't hockey. This is a ice dance match where there's no contact. But the Heat team are putting just a little bit of pressure on them physically, which is fine.
That's okay.
Face-off win, back to Alberts. Alberts around the net. Squeaks out. Cummings puts the pressure on. Pops it back up to the Lightning D. Lightning pack it back up and break into the Heat zone. That's broken up by Alberts. Alberts turnover over to Luca, which goes up to X. Just goes wide. Lightning pick that back up and turn it over into the transition in the neutral zone, where it's broken back up by Luca. Lightning still have control in the Heat zone. Lightning with some time and space. Broken up. Shot just goes up and wide behind the net. Picked back up by the Lightning. Lightning cycling. Falkenberg picks that up. He's going to break out. He goes out with Cummings. Ooh, shot centering pass just goes wide. There's a loose puck behind the net. Centering pass. They're battling hard. They're calling that a goal. That's a hard-working goal. Luca, Cummings, and X work hard to get that one on the board. That was a little dump and chase, and just it does it automatically. You can do it again. Press the button. When you do it, it says goal and it's flashing up. Oh, boy. Wow. I think it was Luca.
Maybe it was Tyler?
I thought it was Luca. Team effort. Here we go. 2-2 game. Offside call is going to cause the Lightning. I can't feel my fingers or my toes. I'm moving the tripod with my mouth at this point. Lightning break into the Heat zone. Woo! Big glove save. Pops the puck up and over. Puck down low. Picked up by Dax. Dax over to Norris. Norris breaks out of the Heat zone. Lightning break that up. The Varga picks the loose puck up into the neutral zone. He's going to go for a skate. He has some time and space. He's dancing around. Puck over to Dax. Dax tries centering it. Centering pass loose. Picked up by the Lightning. Loose puck picked up by Norris. He has some time and space in the offensive zone. He tries to dance around the Lightning player. The Lightning bench calls for a trip, but they're not going to get it. Dax is working hard in the corner. Norris comes in for support. Loose puck pops out to the Lightning defenseman. He chokes on that. Loose puck still picked up by the Lightning. Loose puck squirts. That's a the Lightning player into the defensive zone. The Heat try and get that one out. Can't quite do it. Kelly battling for it. Still along the boards. Daxon for support. Pops that out of the zone into the neutral zone. The Lightning will pick that up and try and break back in. Varga, big deflection up and over to glass. You're going to get a whistle in the defensive zone. Whoa. It's supposed to be 17 degrees out here, and it's like
It's minus 40.
It's minus 40 in this rink. Here we go. Davidson, the Davidson line with Gauthier, McCrimmon. Puck goes back into the Heat zone, picked up by the Lightning player. Centering pass, low slow shot on net, goes wide. Heat picked that up. McCrimmon can't quite hold on to that, and the Lightning are going to pick that up and break back in. Go. Then Alberts pops up to McCrimmon. McCrimmon breaks in. Poked off his stick by the Lightning player. Puck's still loose, dancing around in there. It ends up on the Lightning player's stick in the defensive zone. Lightning try and break out. Low and slow slap shot goes into the corner. Davidson picks it up for the Heat. Over to Albert. Gauthier. Puck behind the net here. Lightning dancing around. Finally turned over. Davidson has that up to Gauthier. Gauthier has some time and space. Tries to pop that over to McCrimmon. Can't quite get there in time, and the puck's picked up by the Lightning in their defensive zone. Lightning goes for the breakout. Puck goes wide. Falkenberg picks that up at the red line. Dumps that in. No icing on the play. Lightning will pick that up below the goal line. They go for a dump. Cummings picks that up with some speed. Still has control of it. He's dancing around about 3 of them. Centering pass, but nobody's home to pick that up. Lightning will pick up a loose puck and break out of their own zone. Lightning break it up, but that's broken up by Cummings. He has some time and space. He's going to wheel into the Lightning zone. He has the support by Luka. Luka gets that spin pass. Back over to Cummings. Coming over to Varga. He sidesteps his man. He has some time and space just over the top of the goalie. Puck goes wide. Battle into the corner ensues. Varga picks up his man. Brings that back over the red line. Again, he's going to come in with control. Varga going for a skate. Behind the Lightning net. Lightning breaking out. But that's broken up by Luka. And Cummings dumps it back in. The Lightning will pick that back up. X in pursuit. Here come the Lightning. That's broken up by Luka, but the Lightning still have control of that one. Lightning dumped it behind the Heat net. Picked up by Zach Moore. Zach Moore over to X. Tries to poke it loose, but ends up on the stick of the Lightning player. Lightning into the corner. Broken up by Kelly. Kelly popped that up to X, but the Lightning picked that up as well. Low slow shot on that. That's picked up. It's like basketball breaks. Back and forth. Non-stop. We're going to have the Dax Norris line. Supported by Kelly and Moore. Face-off win by Dax into the corner for Kelly. Kelly around for Moore. Moore up the boards to Norris. Norris over to Dax. Dax into the Lightning zone, loses control, picks it back up. Dumps that into the corner. Still has control over it. Moore in for support. Loose puck, still a battle. Ends up into the corner of the Lightning zone, where Dax goes to battle for that. Loose puck squirts out, picked up by the Lightning player as they try to break out. Loose puck goes into the Heat zone, picked up by Kelly in the defensive zone. Kelly turns off his man. Loose puck popped up to Dax. Ooh, loose puck just shoots wide. Lucky couple stops, ends up with the puck behind the net. Picked up by the Lightning where they're battling it up. Dax Bennett picks that up. Able to pop that over to Norris. Norris squeaks out to Dax. Ooh. Puck stripped off Dax for the Lightning, and they're coming with speed. The puck just goes wide, picked up by Alberts. Albert looks to break out. Dax has that. Goes for a dump and a line change into the Lightning zone. The Lightning will pick that up with 5 back. Lightning breaking into the Heat zone. Picked up behind the net by Davidson. Davidson over to McCrimmon. McCrimmon over to Gauthier. Gauthier dumps it in. Pressure from the Lightning players. Lightning pick that up behind their own net, but they have pressure by McCrimmon. He's working hard, ends up with it. Still has control of the puck. Davidson in for support. McCrimmon still ends up with it below the goal line. Bounces it back behind on the other side. Reversal over to Gauthier. Gauthier centering pass. Davidson on the scene. A little push. A little push and shoving from the 2016s. We're going to see a forward line change. We're going to see the Luca, Cummings, and Xavier line come out with support by Falkenberg and Alberts. Face-off win for the Lightning. They try and break out. Here come the Lightning into the heat zone. Shot goes wide. Picked up by Cummings with some speed. Cummings has that. Pops it back to X. Loose puck goes into the corner. Lightning will attempt to pick that up. Broken up by Luca. Loose puck out front. Pressure by Luca, but the Lightning are going to walk into the neutral zone with that. Albert's putting pressure on his man. Shot blocked. Cummings ends up with the puck in the defensive zone. We're going to end up with a penalty. We're going to end up with a holding the stick penalty against Duke Alberts. And the Heat are going to go on a penalty kill for 2 minutes, leaving them with only 15 minutes of even strength time afterwards. Right, let's look like we're going to go for the shorty here. I wouldn't mind seeing a shorty. We have Dax, a Varga, and a Kelly. Lightning with control. Dax with the pressure, try and get that out. Can't quite do it. Kelly, stick lift with the Lightning walking away with that. Varga goes down. Breaks that up. Varga still has control of it. He's going to have some time and space. Passes that up to Dax. Dax is going to go for it. Dumps it into the Lightning zone. Dax behind that goes for pressure, but the Lightning are going to walk out with it and go for a breakout into the neutral zone and try and skate through. The Lightning are freaking out. Yeah, we see a dive. Olympic swimming, diving. The Lightning are going to pick that up into their own zone. Zach Moore breaks that up, pops the puck back into the neutral zone, causing the Lightning to have to reset. Lightning dumped that up, picked up by Falkenberg. Falkenberg out of the zone again. Toss over to Norris. Loose puck popped out, where the Lightning are going to pick that up and try and break in. Norris picks up his man. Davidson in for support along with Falkenberg into the corner of the Lightning. Lightning using the defensive, can't hold on to it and comes back out to center. Where the Lightning try and stick handle and pass it around. Loose puck ends up into the Lightning zone and regrouped by the Lightning defenseman. Lightning try and break in with 45 seconds left. Loses the handle on that. Leopard is a shot, blocked by Falkenberg. Loose puck blocked by Moore. Lightning have control of it. Trying to set something up here. Ooh, nice tip that goes wide. Moore goes for support. Falkenberg breaks that up. Falkenberg up to Norris. Gauthier is going to chase that down. He might get there, and he does before. He ends up with it before. Centering pass, but unfortunately no one home, making it hard with that. Making it hard with that man coming right out of the box. Gauthier still has time breaking into the Lightning zone. Falkenberg with the shot on net. That's blocked, and that's going to be it for... with a little 2-2 tie for the first game of this team's official round robin. And I think we're back at 5:30 or 5 or something like that. So we'll reconnect back then. Good part after we warm up.